Hey everyone, this is Leighton Taylor from Envision.io and the E-commerce Pulse podcast. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create customizable products in Shopify without using an app. And to give you a demo of what that looks like, here's an example product that I've set up. You can see that I have a bunch of different options here. I have a small text input for a monogram. And of course, that could be any sort of small text input. And I've also got a few checkboxes here. I've got a bigger text area where someone could put in several lines of text. I have some radio buttons, and I have a file upload where someone could upload an image or a PDF or whatever you wanted them to upload, and then a drop-down select menu right here. So these are the different kinds of options that you'll be able to add to your Shopify products when we're done with this tutorial. And there are a lot of different apps that can do this as well. However, these apps charge you monthly fees, and they also can kind of slow down your site because they add this extra code, that extra JavaScript and things, extra resources that the page has to load from the third-party app. So it's best if you can do it yourself by just adding a little bit of code, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do in this tutorial. To start with, go to your Shopify dashboard, and then click on Online Store and Themes. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using the minimal theme, but what we're going to be doing here, it will work in any theme. All right, once you're here on your themes page, you'll click this three-dot button here, and then click Edit HTML and CSS. And now we're inside the theme editor, and most of the work we're going to be doing was right here in the theme editor. Let's go back to the Shopify tutorial text on the blog post, and we'll just follow along here. All right, so first step one, is to create a new product template. So we are going to click Add a new template right here, and we're going to choose Product from the menu, and we're going to call it Custom 1. You can actually call it anything you want. I recommend something like Custom-1 for this first one, and if you're going to be creating multiple templates for different products that have different options, then you could call the next one Custom 2, Custom 3, and so on. The next thing we need to do is actually open up the product that we want to give these custom options to. So I just opened this in a new tab, and I'm going to open up my example product, and in my theme templates box over here, click the drop down and choose product.custom1 or whatever name you gave it. The default template is product, so choose the custom template that we just created and then save your changes. And I'm also going to go ahead and click view to open this product in my online store. So as you can see right now, it's just the basic product page. There are no custom options. It's just the title, price, add to cart button, as we would normally have on the template. All right, now we're in step 2 of the tutorial, and here in this step we're going to add the code for the form fields we want to use, and we're going to add that code to the product template that we just created. And we need to add it in between these two form tags right here, I recommend adding it above the add to cart button and above the quantity field. So in our new product template that we just created, I'm just going to click the cursor in here, and I'm going to hit Command F, or if you're on a PC, Control F, and I'm going to start typing add to cart, or just add. And here we see our form tag, and right here it's highlighted our add to cart button. So this text right here is the add to cart button. If you're in the minimal theme, it'll look just like this. If you're in a different theme, it'll look a little different, but it should still say add to cart or have a submit button or something like that. And here's our quantity field. So this div here is the quantity. So I'm just going to put my cursor right here and hit return a few times to make some room. So this is where we want to put our new custom product options. And if you go back to the tutorial, the next step is to add the following code right here. So I'm just going to select and copy that, and then paste it back into my product template. And I'll select this text that got bumped over to the side and just hit tab a few times to move it over. I like to keep everything indented nicely so we can keep track of what elements are inside of other elements. And then when we add our options, those new options are going to go right here, replacing this line of code. Just a few notes here to keep in mind. One is that I've created a free swipe file you can download, and this is just a plain text file that contains all of the code that I'm about to show you for these different product options. So you can download this swipe file by clicking the link here in the tutorial, and then you can refer to that in the future anytime you want to copy and paste this code that you'll need. A few other notes. One is that most of the fields below are set as required by default, and that means that if you try to add the product to your cart without filling out these fields, it's not going to work. It'll give you a little error message and say, please fill out this field before you add to cart. If you want to make them optional instead of required, you can just delete the word required from the code. So if you look down here in this code, you see the word required. All you'd have to do is delete that word and the field will no longer be required. Finally, most of these fields, or all of these fields, are visible during checkout by default. So once you get to the checkout process, the notes or the options that the customer has selected are going to show up there in checkout. So if you want to hide them so that only you as the admin can see them in the order admin, then just add an underscore here where it says properties, and then you have brackets and then the label. Put an underscore at the beginning. So this version of the code would show the option during checkout, whereas this version would not show it during checkout because there's an underscore. So if you look down at some of these options, like for the small text or monogram, and you see the properties right here, you can just add an underscore right there after the opening bracket, and that means that this property will be hidden during checkout. All right, so here we have all of the code that you can use, copy and paste for the different options. So this code is for the small text. This code is for the big text box. Here you have the code for checkboxes. Here you have the code for radio buttons. Here's the code for a drop-down select for a file upload. And just keep in mind, I left a note here, file uploads may not work if your cart is one of those slide out or pop-up Ajax carts, which means when you add an item to your cart, it doesn't redirect you to the cart page, and instead it just has a pop-up window or a slide out. So if you test this feature out and it's not working correctly with the file upload, then try switching to the redirect to cart page option in your customized theme settings. All right, so let's go ahead and add a few of these options to our new product template. So I'm just going to grab this code here, copy it, and this is for the small text box, and I'm going to paste it right in here. And again, I'm going to tab this code over to keep it nice and clean. Here we have a big text box. All right, so now we've added all of these custom product options to our new product template. Let's go ahead and save our changes. And let's also refresh our product page here and see how that looks. All right, it looks like all of our product options are showing up on the page correctly. That was easy enough. There are a few more things we need to do to make sure that this feature is working correctly, not just on the product page, but on the cart page and in your admin. So let's move on to step 3 of the tutorial, and this is to customize the cart page to show your custom product options. So some themes like Minimal already have the necessary code installed on the cart page to show these line item properties or custom product options. You can check and see if your theme already supports this by just adding an item to your cart with these options and seeing if it shows up in the cart like it's showing right here in this screenshot. If your theme doesn't already show this info in the cart page and you want it to, follow steps below. So back in your theme editor, we'll open up the cart.liquid template. And we need to find the code that looks like this. So I'm just going to copy and go back to our cart.liquid, hit Command F or Control F here in our Finder box, and paste that code that we're looking for, and it's right there. Just below that code, we need to add this code right here. So I'm going to copy and paste that right there. Now, because I'm in the minimal theme, where these options are already showing in the cart, I actually don't need this, but I wanted to show you how to add it to your cart page if your theme doesn't already support this. So I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this, since in the minimal theme we don't need it. And there's very similar code down here that checks to see if there are line item properties to show those here on the cart page. Step number 3, find the code that looks like this, which is /cart/change. It'll be part of an ahref tag, so it will look something like this. Ahref equals quote /cart/change. So we'll find that in our cart template here. And there it is. Replace everything between the quotation marks with the following code. So I'll go ahead and copy that. And we'll paste that in right here. Make sure you get everything between these quotation marks at the beginning and end. And because the minimal theme already supports this feature, the code is already there, but in your theme, you may need to replace the code here with what I provided here. The final result will look something like this. Next, we need to find every instance of the following in cart.liquid. So I'm going to copy that, go back to cart, and switch it out here in our Finder box. And I don't have that in this theme because Minimal already supports it. But if your theme did have this, this is where it would be, and we'd need to replace it with the following. So basically we're just taking something that says updates and then has some brackets and it says item ID, and we're replacing it with just the updates with brackets and no item ID. So that's going to go, it's going to look like this when you're done. It'll say name equals quotation marks updates and then 2 brackets and then the ending quotation mark. So if you can't find this in your cart, see if you can find this one. And if you find this one, then you're all set. And finally, make sure to save your changes that you made in the cart page. All right, we're getting close to being done. Step number 4, we need to customize the order confirmation emails. And this is so that when a customer receives their email receipt or the order confirmation email that they get after they place an order, you probably want that email to include the custom options that they chose when they were checking out. So to do this, we need to go in your Shopify dashboard to Settings. And I'm going to open this in a new tab. And then Notifications. And we scroll down and find the order confirmation email. Click on that. And in the order confirmation email template, we're looking for the code that looks like this. So it's some brackets with line.title in the middle. So I'm going to just hit Command F, paste that code in there to find it. And it's not showing it to me. Let me try it without these brackets and see if that works. There it is. Sometimes the find tool doesn't work because there's not a space after the brackets there. It's effectively the same code, but the spacing is important when you're doing a find or a search. So that's why we couldn't find it. So if you remove the brackets from your search, that can help. All right, so when we find that, we need to replace it with the following code right here. So I'll just copy and paste that. And we need to do the same thing in the HTML email tab, which we can find right here. So again, we're looking for line title. There it is. So I'll replace that with what we just pasted in the plain text email. And finally, save your changes. Step 5 is to test it out. Let's make sure everything is working correctly. And we can do this by going to the product and just typing in all of the information that you'd want to add to these custom product options. And then we'll go through checkout and see how it looks, make sure that it comes through on the admin and everything is working. So just click a few random options. We'll upload a file. And add to cart. I do recommend that you go all the way through checkout and actually complete the order so that you can see what the order looks like in your store admin. I'll go ahead and skip ahead in the video to after I've placed the order and then show you what it looks like in my store admin. Okay, I'm here in my store admin looking at the order that I just placed, and you can see that all of the line item properties or custom product options that we added to the product template are showing up here in the order details. We have our monogram, our optional features, which are checkboxes, our custom message, our radio button, and the picture that we uploaded. And so right here as an admin, you can see all the options that a customer has requested and then fulfill the order. All right, so everything is working. If you want to create products that have different options from the template that you created the first time, you can just go back into your theme editor, create a new template, and this time call it custom 2 and add whatever options you need in the second template. And you can create as many different templates as you need with all the different custom options that you want. Thanks for watching. If you want more Shopify tutorials and other e-commerce training, head over to envision.io, and there you can read the e-commerce Pulse blog, listen to the podcast, and I have a free course there you can sign up for. Love to see you over there. Again, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, run into any problems, shoot me an email over at my website, and I'd be happy to help.